Okay, let's go ahead and finish our recipe up. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the borders, which we had used in a previous video here, just so we could see what was what. So let's go ahead and find all of those rules. So where did I have them in here? We have print. I'm just going to comment these out for right now. And then we also have our rating. And then I believe we have our name. And I think I had one around the section also. So let's, yes, there it is up there. Let's get rid of that one also. And then we'll save. Let's just take a look to make sure we got rid of them. And there we go. Okay, so now we need to get the rest of our text back and formatted. So let's remove those comments we added earlier. And there's that comment ending. And then remember, the footer is going to be extra credit. There will be bonus videos for how you could lay out your extra credit also. Okay, and there may be one, I can't remember, there might be one other thing that I need to add to this. I'm not sure if we addressed the social media icons. I think I may have forgotten to do that, but anyway, that'll be in a different video. Let's finish up with our formatting. Okay, so we should have all of our text back. So let's go ahead and find our section, and we're going to give this section a class name. We're going to call this one ingredients. Okay, and then we're going to add a class name to this section for directions. We'll call this class equals directions. All right, we'll go ahead and save, and then let's add our rules in, and we'll talk about those different rules. Okay, let's add the style for the section that we have the class ingredients. All right, so we're going to set our position to relative. Our width will be 100% of the parent, which is the main. And then the height will be auto based on whatever content's inside. We're going to zero out the margin and the padding. Now what we need to do is now target the H3 inside and our P tag. Okay, so I'm going to go about this by actually, make sure I have this. We're going to do our H3 next. So we're going to target the H3 in both ingredients and directions. So let's just get this rule in here, and then we can talk about it. Okay, so we're going to create our rule, which will target the H3 in both ingredients and directions. Okay, and then let's see, we should be good. Let's take a look at what we have so far. All right, so our H3 is going to have a relative position. It's only going to be 60% of the parent section. We're going to set a height of 1/6 rem, line height 1/6 rem, so we'll get our text will center vertically. We're going to kick this down 50 pixels from what is above it. No padding. We're going to load our font family, and we're going to fix something on a font up above. That it works, but it's best to stay consistent with double quotes. We'll get there in a second. Our font size will be 1.2 rem. We're going to center our type. We're going to add a background color. Our color of our type will be white, and then we'll set a border radius of half of our height, so we'll have rounded corners. So before we take a look at this, our font family for our H1 up here, let's find our H1 real quick. All right, now it's been working with single quotes, but again, it's better to be consistent. So we should use our double quotes, and I didn't catch that way back when. Some editors will kind of yell at you. They'll throw an error for having mix match quotes. So it's best to be consistent. So we're going to stay with all double quotes. So we're going to go ahead and save, and let's go ahead and update, and let's take a look at what we have. All right, so there's our two heads for H3. So now we're going to control the unordered list and this P tag. So let's get it doing that. So let's first style. What we'll do is we will target both the unordered list and the P tag. So let's scroll all the way down to the bottom here. So we're gonna go for the unordered list, and we're going to target the P tag. So we'll do so by targeting ingredients, UL, and then directions, P. I'm going to set the width to both of those as 50 to get them narrower. So the list items won't be a problem, but this paragraph tag, the line length will be too long. And remember, we want to shoot for about 10 to 12 words in a line length. That's visually a nice line length for most people to read. So be careful about having really long line lengths. The height will be auto, so it'll automatically adjust. I'm going to set my color to white. Font size will be 1 rem, and our line height will be 1.2. Okay. Then what we're going to do here, I'll just grab 2 more rules. Like so. And what we're going to do is we're going to target the LI specifically in ingredients. And what I want to do is create some margin. So I have some margin between each of the list items. So they're separated a little. Okay. If we look at them here, you'll see they're kind of tight. So I want to open up some space between these list items. All right. And then we're going to target directions P specifically, and we're just going to add some padding on the left-hand side, because if we look at what's happening here, this alignment and this alignment kind of seem off visually. So we're going to take this P tag and use some left padding and move this over some, so we get a little better alignment, which is going to look nice graphically. So let's go ahead and save, and then we'll update our page, and let's take a look at what we have. Okay, so there we go. We have some nice space after our intro, before our ingredients start, because you don't want everything running together. You kind of want to break things into chunks. Okay, I might even go back later and increase this space, but it's not too bad. But definitely I like this space. And then it's nice having a little more space in between each of our list items. So that looks good. And then if we drop down, you'll notice that our line length here, if I just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we could probably go a little bit more, but this is a nice line length. If this type starts going over here, what happens is the reader gets down this line, and it's just visually hard to get the eye to go back to the beginning. I mean, people can do it, but it'll tire the user more quickly. So be aware of those line lengths, and don't let them go all the way across the page by all means at all. Don't do that. Okay? All right, so everything looks good. We should have the basic part of our recipe done. Now, later on in a bonus video, I'm going to come back and we're going to add some social media icons for sharing on social media, and then we'll have some bonus videos on how to add a footer. And remember, the footer will be extra credit if you so choose.